Hello, welcome to Imperial Truth, your source for honest and clear reporting. Here is the news for March 2, 2025.
President Donald Trump has signed an executive order declaring English as the official language of the United States. This move marks the first time in U.S. history that a federal mandate has designated an official language. The order is expected to impact government operations, including official documents and communications. Critics argue that the measure could marginalize non-English-speaking communities and limit access to essential services. Supporters claim it will promote national unity and reduce government translation costs. The executive order supersedes a directive from former President Bill Clinton that encouraged multilingual accessibility.
U.S. business leaders have expressed concerns over President Trump's recent economic policies, citing uncertainty and market instability. Many executives argue that trade restrictions and deregulation efforts are disrupting long-term planning. A survey conducted by the U.S. Chamber of Commerce found that 64% of CEOs disapprove of the administration's economic strategies. Financial markets have also shown signs of instability, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average experiencing volatility amid policy shifts. Corporate leaders warn that continued unpredictability could impact job growth and foreign investment. Some industries, particularly technology and manufacturing, are lobbying Congress to counteract the administration's moves.
DHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr. has proposed a controversial policy to restrict public comments on rulemaking within the Department of Health and Human Services. This move has drawn criticism from transparency advocates who argue that public input is essential in shaping health regulations. Legal experts warn that limiting public comments could lead to lawsuits challenging the constitutionality of the policy. Kennedy claims that the change is necessary to prevent lobbying groups from influencing health policies. However, consumer rights organizations argue that it could reduce government accountability and hinder the democratic process. The decision is expected to face legal scrutiny if implemented.
A growing number of Gen Z workers are opting for traditional, skilled trades instead of pursuing college degrees. Rising tuition costs and concerns over student loan debt have led many young people to seek careers in fields like plumbing, electrical work, and construction. Data from the National Student Clearinghouse shows a 7.2% drop in college enrollment among high school graduates in 2024. Trade schools and apprenticeship programs are seeing increased enrollment as a result of this trend. Experts suggest that shifting attitudes toward education could reshape the U.S. labor market. Employers in skilled trades report worker shortages, making these careers more financially attractive.
A federal judge has ruled against the Trump administration's attempt to remove a key government watchdog. The judge found that the administration's actions violated statutory protections designed to ensure the agency's independence. The decision is a setback for the White House's efforts to consolidate executive control over federal oversight bodies. Legal analysts say the ruling reinforces the autonomy of federal watchdog agencies. The administration is expected to appeal the decision, setting up a potential Supreme Court battle. Transparency advocates have welcomed the ruling, arguing that it upholds critical checks and balances in government oversight.
A federal funding freeze at the National Institutes of Health, NIH, is stalling key medical research and clinical trials. Scientists warn that delays could set back the development of new treatments for diseases such as cancer and Alzheimer's. The freeze stems from ongoing budget negotiations in Congress, with lawmakers unable to reach a funding agreement. Several high-profile drug trials have already been put on hold, affecting thousands of patients enrolled in experimental treatments. Researchers fear long-term consequences, including talent loss as scientists seek more stable funding sources. Health advocates are urging Congress to resolve the impasse before irreversible damage is done to biomedical advancements.
The Trump administration has proposed a significant change to how the U.S. gross domestic product is calculated. The proposal would exclude government spending from GDP measurements, which critics say could distort economic data. Economists warn that such a move could make it harder to accurately assess economic growth and fiscal policy. Supporters argue that removing government spending from GDP would provide a clearer picture of private sector growth. However, many experts believe it would make international comparisons more difficult. In particular, it would provide cover for DOGE and its operations to be out of sight from the public at large.
President Trump has announced the inclusion of cryptocurrencies in a new U.S. strategic reserve. The reserve will consist of Bitcoin, Ether, XRP, Solana, and Cardano, sparking a surge in their market values. Bitcoin's price jumped 6.06% following the announcement, reaching $89,359. This move signals a shift in government policy toward digital assets. The administration claims it will help stabilize financial markets and integrate cryptocurrencies into the national economy. However, it could tie the government in the potential losses as well if crypto fails.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has urged European allies to unite behind a peace initiative for Ukraine. During recent discussions, Starmer emphasized the need for a coordinated approach to end the ongoing war. His proposal seeks to establish a framework for diplomatic negotiations with Russia. European leaders remain divided on the best strategy, with some advocating for continued military support while others push for negotiations. Starmer's diplomatic efforts aim to bridge these differences and accelerate peace talks. The UK government has expressed optimism that an agreement could be reached in the coming months.
In a legal hearing, the Trump administration admitted it lacks concrete data on the number of transgender individuals in the military. The statement raises questions about the rationale behind the administration's proposed ban on transgender service members. Advocacy groups argue that the policy is based on political motives rather than empirical evidence. The administration's defense has struggled to justify the ban beyond broad claims of military readiness concerns. Legal experts say this admission could weaken the government's case in ongoing lawsuits. Courts are expected to rule on the constitutionality of the ban in the coming months.
Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. You can also follow us on our other socials, links in the description box below. Thank you again.